She was texting you every day, laughing at your jokes, leaning in close enough you could smell her perfume. And then, she goes cold. A sudden, brutal coldness. And here's the part that makes no sense. It happened the moment things started to feel real. You didn't mess up. You didn't come on too strong. She disappeared because she liked you, and that terrified her more than anything. Before I explain why, think of the last time this happened to you. That moment she went from warm to ice. Got it? Hold that feeling. Because what I'm about to show you will explain exactly why it happened. Now, ... Let me show you something most men never understand. Something dark. Have you ever felt that hollow ache in your chest when someone who was just there ... vanishes? Have you ever replayed every conversation, every text, looking for the moment you fucked it up? Have you ever wondered why the women who seem most interested are the ones who disappear the fastest? What if I told you her coldness has nothing to do with you? What if the warmth scared her more than the distance ever could? What if pulling away wasn't rejection, but protection? Have you ever noticed that the moment you start to matter, she goes cold and acts like you don't? Have you ever wondered why vulnerability looks like cruelty? Why safety feels like abandonment? Why the people we want most are the ones who run the fastest? There's a reason for this pattern. A psychological mechanism so deep, most people never see it. And when you understand it, everything changes. Not because you'll know how to fix her, but because you'll finally stop taking her fear personally. This is going to hurt to hear, but it's true. Her coldness is a compliment. A twisted, brutal compliment. Because she only runs from men who could actually reach her. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to understand why the women who like you the most are the ones who hurt you the hardest. And why that wound in your chest, it's not about you at all. Most people think emotional withdrawal is simple. She lost interest. She found someone else. She was never that into you to begin with. Surface explanations for surface people. But you're still here, which means you know there's something deeper. Something they're not telling you. So let me reframe this for you. When she goes cold, it's not because the connection died. It's because the connection got too real. Think about it. When does she pull away? After a perfect date? After she opened up to you? After you made her laugh so hard she forgot to guard herself? After that moment when her eyes softened and you could see her actually letting you in? Right when things start to feel like they could matter. That's when the door slams shut. Here's the psychological truth most people miss. Intimacy isn't just closeness. Intimacy is threat. For someone who's been hurt before. For someone who learned that opening up means getting destroyed. Closeness doesn't feel like safety. It feels like standing at the edge of a cliff. And her nervous system is screaming, jump back before you fall. Carl Jung called this the shadow. The parts of ourselves we can't face, so we project them onto others. And one of the deepest shadows we carry, the belief that if someone really sees us, they'll leave. So she leaves first. Have you ever noticed that the women who go cold the hardest are often the ones who've been hurt the deepest? Have you ever wondered why strength sometimes looks like coldness? Why self-protection masquerades as cruelty? What if her withdrawal isn't about you? What if it's about every man who came before you? Every promise that turned into abandonment? Every moment she let someone in and they walked out? Every time she was told she was too much or not enough, or loved conditionally? You're not dealing with her. You're dealing with her wound. And here's the part that's going to piss you off. You can't heal it. You can be patient. You can be consistent. You can show up every single day with your heart on your sleeve. But if she's not ready to face what's underneath her coldness, nothing you do will matter. Because the wall isn't there to keep you out. It's there to keep her pain in now. Here's the part they never tell you. The part that changes everything. Because this isn't just about her. It's about you too. What if there's a reason you keep attracting women who run? What if there's something in you that's drawn to the chase, to the unavailable, to the ones who make you prove yourself over and over again? Hold that thought. We're going deeper. This is going to hurt to hear, but it's true. Her coldness is a mirror, and what you see in her withdrawal, it's showing you something you haven't looked at in yourself. Jung said we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. More specifically, we attract people who carry the disowned parts of our own psyche. So when she pulls away, when she goes cold the moment things get real, ask yourself this. What part of you is terrified of intimacy too? I know what you're thinking, but I'm the one pursuing. I'm the one who wants closeness. I'm not the one running. Are you sure? Because here's the shadow truth. If you were truly available for real intimacy, you wouldn't be attracted to women who aren't. Think about the last woman who was emotionally available, the one who texted back immediately. She made her interest clear. She didn't play games or pull away or make you guess. Did you feel that spark? Or did it feel too easy, a little boring, like something was missing? That's your wound talking. Because somewhere deep in your psyche, you learned the same lesson she did. Love isn't safe unless you have to earn it. Intimacy isn't real unless it hurts. Connection doesn't count unless you have to fight for it. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine two people standing in a dark theater. On the stage in front of them, a projection plays. A story about a man chasing a woman who keeps disappearing. He thinks it's about her. She thinks it's about him. But the projection isn't the truth. It's just light and shadow dancing on a screen. The truth is behind them. In the projection booth, two projectors running simultaneously. His wound projecting onto her. Her wound projecting onto him. He sees a woman who's afraid of intimacy. She sees a man who wants to consume her. But what they're really seeing is their own terror reflected back. His wound says, I'm not enough unless someone hard to get chooses me. Her wound says, I'll be abandoned the moment I let someone see me. And together they create the perfect storm. He pursues because her distance confirms he needs to prove his worth. She withdraws because his pursuit confirms he'll eventually leave. Neither of them realizes they're not dancing with each other. They're dancing with ghosts. Have you ever wondered why you feel most alive when someone's pulling away? Have you ever noticed that the moment she starts giving you what you thought you wanted, you lose interest? What if the chase isn't about her? What if it's about avoiding the one thing that terrifies you more than rejection? Acceptance. Because if someone truly sees you, all of you, the messy parts and the broken parts and the parts you've spent your whole life trying to hide, and they stay, you can't use their leaving as proof that you're unlovable. You'd have to face the possibility that you are worthy of love. And for someone who built their entire identity around not being enough, that's the most terrifying truth of all. Jung worked with a patient once, a man who kept falling for unavailable women. Cold women, women who would get close and then vanish. He spent years blaming them, analyzing them, trying to figure out what was wrong with these women. Until Jung asked him one question: what are you avoiding by chasing women who can't love you back? The man broke down, because the answer was simple and brutal. If he only pursued women who couldn't stay, he'd never have to risk being truly known. He'd never have to face his own belief that he was fundamentally unworthy of love. The chase protected him, just like her coldness protects her. So here's the question you need to sit with. What if her withdrawal isn't the problem? What if it's the symptom? What if you're both running from the same thing, from different directions, using different strategies, but running all the same? Her method is obvious. She goes cold, disappears, shuts down. Your method is sneakier. You pursue women who will inevitably leave. Same terror, different mask. Have you ever felt that sick feeling in your stomach when a woman you like suddenly becomes available? Have you ever noticed yourself finding flaws the moment she stops playing games? Have you ever wondered why the women who could actually love you bore you? This is your shadow. The part of you that learned love is supposed to hurt. That connection means inevitable abandonment. That intimacy is a luxury for people who weren't broken young. And until you look at this, really look at it, you'll keep attracting her. In different bodies, with different names, different hair color, and different laughs, and different excuses. But the same pattern, the same dance, the same ending. Because the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you need to heal. And what you need is to stop chasing women who run and start asking why you're only attracted to the ones who do. Now, there's one more layer to this. The paradox that changes everything. Remember what I said at the start, that her coldness is a compliment, that she only runs from men who could actually reach her. Here's the paradox. She goes cold when she likes you, because liking you means she could lose you, and losing you would confirm what she's always believed, that she's not worth staying for. So she leaves first, not because you don't matter, but because you matter too much. Think about that for a second. The women who disappear aren't the ones who don't care. They're the ones who care so much it feels like dying. Because if you care, you're vulnerable. If you're vulnerable, you can be destroyed. And if you've already been destroyed once, your entire nervous system is wired to prevent it from happening again. So when she feels that flutter in her chest, when you make her laugh in that specific way that makes her forget to protect herself, when she catches herself thinking about you at 2 a.m., her brain doesn't register that as love. It registers it as danger. And danger must be escaped. Here's what Jung discovered. We don't fear intimacy because we're weak. We fear it because we're trying to survive. And for someone whose survival once depended on not needing anyone, closeness isn't just uncomfortable. It's a threat to their entire way of being. So when she goes cold, what she's really saying is, you're getting too close to the part of me I can't let anyone see. You're making me hope, and hope is the most dangerous thing I know. You're showing me a version of love that contradicts everything I learned, and I don't know how to trust it. It's not rejection. It's terror wearing a mask of indifference. And here's the mirror you need to see. The paradox works both ways. She withdraws because being seen feels like annihilation. You pursue because proving yourself to someone who can't see you protects you from being truly visible. You're both terrified of the same thing. She runs from intimacy by going cold. You run from intimacy by chasing women who will never fully let you in. What if the chase isn't about winning her? What if it's about never having to be still enough to be truly known? Now, here's where it gets really uncomfortable, because the same is true for you. If you keep choosing women who go cold, women who withdraw, women who can't meet you in the intimacy you claim to want, you're not a victim of their damage. You're participating in the pattern. And the only way out isn't to find a woman who won't run. It's to become someone who stops chasing the ones who do. What would happen if you actually pursued a woman who was available? What would happen if you let yourself be seen by someone who wasn't afraid to look? What would happen if love didn't have to be earned, proven, fought for? Would you even recognize it? Or would it feel wrong? Too simple. Not real because it doesn't hurt. That's the final paradox. She goes cold when she likes you because her wound tells her love equals pain. And you chase her because your wound tells you the same thing. Two people, both terrified of intimacy, both convinced they want it, both unconsciously sabotaging any chance of actually having it. Mirror images, dancing in the dark, blaming each other for the very pattern they're both creating. So what do you do with this? How do you break a pattern that's been running your entire life? First, you stop pretending her coldness is the problem. It's not. The problem is that you're attracted to it. And until you ask yourself why, until you sit with the uncomfortable truth that part of you feels safer with women who can't fully love you back, you'll keep recreating this hell. Start here. Notice the pattern. Not just with her, with all of them. The woman who got close and vanished. The one who said she wasn't ready. The one who chose someone else. The one who kept you on a string for months. What did they have in common? They were all unavailable. And what were you doing? Trying to convince them to choose you. That's not love. That's a compulsion to prove you're worthy of love. And here's the brutal truth. You'll never prove it by chasing someone who's running, because the whole point of the chase is that it never ends. If she stopped running, if she turned around and said, "Okay, I'm here, I'm all in, I see you and I'm not leaving," your wound wouldn't know what to do, so it would find a reason to leave. Second, get honest about what you're avoiding. Real intimacy isn't romantic. It's not the chase or the butterflies or the dramatic reconciliations. Real intimacy is showing up on a Tuesday when you're tired and she's cranky and nothing is exciting but you're still there. It's being seen in your mediocrity, your flaws, your ordinariness, and being loved anyway. It's not having to perform or prove or chase. Can you handle that? Or does that sound boring compared to the high of pursuing someone who's pulling away? If it sounds boring, you're not ready for love. You're still addicted to the wound. And here's the transformation you need to sit with. That terror of being truly seen and found unworthy. That's not a truth about you. That's a story you've been believing. The fear that if someone really knows you, they'll leave. That's the last guardian protecting the part of you that's convinced you're not enough. But what if you stopped running from that fear? What if instead of avoiding it by chasing unavailable women, you sat with it? What if you stopped performing, stopped proving, stopped chasing, and faced the unbearable possibility that you might already be enough, exactly as you are? That's when the pattern loses its power. Not because you found the right woman, but because you stopped running from yourself. Third, stop trying to save her. Her coldness is her journey. If she's not ready to face why she runs, nothing you do will change that. You can't love someone into healing. You can't be patient enough, consistent enough, perfect enough to override her nervous system. She has to choose the work. And if she doesn't, you have to choose yourself. That doesn't mean abandoning her. It means recognizing that her wound isn't your responsibility, and your wound, the one that's drawn to her unavailability, isn't hers to heal either. Have you ever considered that maybe the right woman for you isn't the one you have to chase? Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be chosen without having to prove yourself first? What if you stopped seeing emotional availability as boring and started seeing it as safe? What if the woman who texts back isn't too easy, she's just healthy? What if the real challenge isn't winning over someone who's scared, but allowing yourself to be loved by someone who isn't? Here's the integration. She goes cold when she likes you because she's terrified, and you're attracted to that terror because you are too. Two wounded people mistaking familiarity for chemistry, mistaking avoidance for mystery, mistaking the pain of unmet needs for the depth of real connection. But you don't have to keep dancing this dance. You can step off the floor. You can turn on the lights in the projection booth and see the machinery for what it is. You can stop chasing ghosts and start pursuing something real. It won't feel as intense at first. It won't give you that addictive hit of anxiety and hope and desperate longing. But it also won't destroy you. And maybe that's the point. Love isn't supposed to feel like drowning. It's supposed to feel like finally coming up for air. So the next time a woman goes cold when things get real, don't ask, what did I do wrong? Ask, why am I here again? What part of me is still convinced I have to earn love? What am I avoiding by choosing someone who can't choose me back? Those questions will hurt more than her silence ever could. But they're the only questions that'll set you free. Because you can't change her. You can't make her ready. You can't love her out of her terror. But you can choose to stop participating in the pattern. You can choose to become someone who's genuinely available for intimacy. Not the fantasy of intimacy. Not the chase. The real thing. Messy and ordinary and unsexy and profoundly, devastatingly beautiful. That's the work. Not figuring her out, but facing what her coldness is showing you about yourself. And when you do that work, when you integrate your own shadow, when you stop running from intimacy by chasing people who are also running, you won't attract her anymore. You'll attract someone who's done the same work. Someone who doesn't go cold when things get real. Someone who stays, not because they're not scared, but because they're brave enough to be scared and stay anyway. That's what you're really looking for. Not a woman who won't leave, but a version of yourself who's worth staying for. And the only way to become that person is to stop proving your worth to people who can't see it, and start building it in the quiet, unglamorous work of healing your own wound. She goes cold when she likes you because she's terrified of intimacy. You chase her because so are you. The pattern breaks when you admit that and choose differently. Not her, you.